Welcome to this week's edition of our program focused on African women's health. This is a program that is dedicated to promotion of African women's health at home and abroad. We share the global message of health for all and emphasize that African women must not be left behind in optimal health. This is Dr. Olaide Ogunshiji of the School of Nursing and Midwifery, Western Sydney University, Sydney, Australia. Last week, if you have not forgotten, we concluded our conversation on cervical cancer by focusing on its prevention. Today, we are starting our conversation on mental health. And this will actually take us a couple of weeks, but we're going to start today by providing some important background information. First of all, let's consider what we understand by mental health. What is mental health? According to World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, and that individual can work productively and fruitfully and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Mental health is related to the promotion of overall health, the prevention of disease, and the treatment and rehabilitation of people that are negatively affected by illness. In essence, mental health is more than just the absence of mental disorders. And as a matter of fact, studies reveal that women are more vulnerable to mental health issues due to their sensitive emotional makeup. Given this and having this at the back of our mind, when we then consider global reports and events, we will agree with me that African women are highly vulnerable to mental health issues. First of all, let's look at women in Africa. Issues that relate to poverty, war, and unrest make them vulnerable to mental health issues. If we look at the issue of war and unrest, and we consider the insurgent killings in northeastern Nigeria and the civil unrest in Sudan, where women are more vulnerable to all manner of gender-based violence, rape, and running up and down, and issues that have to do with trauma, women are more vulnerable in issues that relate to mental health. And when we look at this issue in Africa, women are at a great disadvantage. Meanwhile, when we consider women in outside Africa, we find out that issues of stress, of settling in a new country, and discrimination, racism, and social inclusion expose them to a lot of vulnerability when it gets to the issue of mental health. Unemployment, housing issues, gender-based violence such as intimate partner violence, they are all issues that increase African women's vulnerability to mental health. And on top of this, when we add other issues that have to do with limited information about mental health issues, cultural barriers, stigma, and lack of access to mental health facilities by African women at home and abroad, mental health issues are crucial things that we need to pay attention to when discussing African women's health. Other things that come to mind have to do with the fact that many Africans, and in our own case, considering our program, many African women find it difficult to discuss their mental health issues. And there are multiple social, psychological, and biological factors that determine the level of mental health of a particular person at any point in time. With all this then, the emphasis of this program today is that there is need to do things differently to promote African women's health. What are then some specific ways to promote mental health? First thing that comes to mind is the need to pay attention to creation of enabling environments for people to talk about their mental health. It is a good thing to ask family members, friends, and neighbors important questions such as, are you okay? We need to encourage the establishment of social support groups for women who are at risk of mental health breakdown. Other things that we can do include targeted programs at poverty reduction and mental health promotional activities in schools, workplaces, and religious groups. This is where we are going to continue next week. And next week, when we meet, what we'll be looking at is one mental health disorder, depression, with specific emphasis on postnatal depression. I would like to use this opportunity to thank you for being there with me today. Thank you for joining in this program. And just in case you are wondering who is speaking or you are watching, this is Dr. Olaide Ogunshiji of the School of Nursing and Midwifery, Western Sydney University, Sydney, Australia. Please share this video, like it, and together, let's keep the conversation going in promoting African women's health. And until next week when we meet again, I would like to say a big thank you to you, and it's bye for now.